gonna like this. Another huge New World Order lie. So-called black people are indigenous to the Americas. So-called black Native Americans are not a result of the so-called Red Indian mixing with slaves. The so-called Red Indian comes from mixing with the European colonists and the Asians that were in America before Columbus. The first Native Americans, so-called, were Mongolian Tartarians. Melville Herskovits, a European anthropologist, was one of the originators of the out of Africa theory. Herskovits never had any historical, archaeological, or anthropological proof that so-called black people of the Americas ever derived from West and North Africa. Herskovits crafted the theory that so-called blacks derived in the Americas from the transatlantic slave trade. According to the National Archives of Spain and Smithsonian records, there was no evidence to prove 70,000 ships with so-called black Africans ever sailed.
Had preceded him. In his diary of his second voyage, Columbus tells of how the natives of Hispaniola actually had given him gold-tipped metal spearheads that they said were brought by black-skinned people who had come in large boats from the south and southeast. Coincidence? I think not. No. So what's interesting about that, so upon returning to Spain, is that he actually took the spearheads and he sent them away and they had them assayed, and it turned out to be that these spearheads were covered in this metal this alloy that the inhabitants called guanin, and the metallurgists actually found out that this was an alloy of 32 parts. It was like 18 of gold, 6 of silver, 8 of copper, which matched the metal used in spearheads made in Western Africa for thousands of years, as carried by medieval African warriors, including the Mali and the Moors. The West Africans even called this metal guanine, the same name used by the natives.
All that woke business, fake. 1619 proclamation, fake. All that's designed by the liberals to hold black people back and further steal America from us.
I celebrate American history,
They're doing a good job.
which is our history,
but
every
we know,
month out the year, and I hope that
we
for
don't
parents
care.
and kids that go home, now we have the internet, now we have tools at our hand, and no, you aren't being taught black American history in schools, but now we can still go out and find that history. It's not like when we grew up and maybe it was buried someplace in the encyclopedia. All you gotta do is go type in some words and you can get it right now and understand where you've come from and how special you are.
Can I just end with this one thing? These four brothers sitting here, we didn't all come from Africa. And there was a there was a country before 1492, and our history goes way beyond 1492. So you can't start us at 1492. We were always here.
So when they say that we was here, that is no cap. That is no cap. You can check the artifact called El Negro. It is one of the most important pieces that documented of the African presence in the ancient Americas. So if you go to Canada, you will see that the Negroes was black, and through your history they slaughtered them. And if you could go to New Amsterdam, which is New York, the Indians was black. So this was well known. And I want to shoot this theory while I got a chance. So the reason why black people, they say, don't get along is because we are all different tribes, and y'all trying to put us all together and say, look, the black people don't get along. Imagine putting a Russian, a Jew, and an Irishman together and say y'all all the same. They're not the same. You understand what I mean? And back in the days, this was the depiction of the Negro or Oriental Negro. And this is Equanimous Indian in America. And this is not, this in no reason is not American Indian. These are Japanese labor workers that migrated in with the Indians. And they just classify them now as Indians. And look at back in the days what they considered American Indian. The American Indian race found only in America, from its deep copper color and straight black hair, high cheekbones. So when it came to American Indians, they was all races basically. It wasn't like they was all black, but it was a majority of them black, a copper skinned, and they used that all of the stuff to segregate, to separate black people by saying, "Oh, y'all don't get along," and then all of the black people went along with it. If you was American black, and Africans come and people come from the islands, or wherever you come from, and you black, they tell you not to get along with the other black people because y'all because they tell you the American black is lazy, and then they tell American black that the Africans don't like them, the Jamaicans don't like them, the Haitians don't like them. That's all divide and conquer, because that's how they got us in this situation in the first place. Then they mixed all of us up and said, look, y'all don't get along, and we all different tribes. That's right. And then the problem is we have more tribes than them. We are tribal, all of us. And they don't understand that. So this goes all the way back down to the Hebrew Israelites. You see, they 12 tribes. You understand what I mean? So we are tribal, and then they mix us together, and they say, yeah, y'all tribes. They say y'all all black and y'all African American, and y'all don't get along. Look, y'all killing each other. No, we all different. And as far as the fake American Indians, are not related to Aztecs, Mayans, or Incas. Y'all DNA link more to Europeans, Mongoloids, and Chinese. That's why y'all got names like China, Chino, Chinca, and y'all what y'all call Plains natives. Y'all not the same. Now let's check this. And no, I'm not capping. It's well documented. It's well documented that y'all are a mixture of blacks mixed with pale-skinned Europeans. Only thing y'all did was understand laws, and y'all rushed to the reservations to get that free land without getting taxed. Strangely, if you look at some of the casino owners, a majority of them are brown skin. But the plain Indians is total different breed from the American Indian. You can look at the dishes of the food and see the difference on how the diets was. One was depicted in paintings, ate cornbread, eat barbecue. The other is only photos. Eat fried bread, buffalo, nomad, lives in barren areas. So these are two totally different type of people. One that understand the land and agriculture, and one who don't. I could go on and on and on and on. And look at these figurines. But I could go on and on and on and on. But I'm just making this video. I'm not even trying to put no intellectual power into this, because a child can understand this. It's like with hip hop. In 100 years, you cannot tell nobody that the hip hop people was black people was the pioneers of hip hop. You ain't gonna be able to tell nobody that 100 years from now. Now look at these. Look at this. This is Indians in the Oklahoma school, and if you look, it's like one or two white kids and native kids that's in with them. But you notice that this is how we taught them. And what they did was they stole the culture, just like they stealing the hip hop culture. Same shit. So you can go out, do all depictions of history, and going back behind the 1900s, all Indians was depicted as black. And when they got into the 1900s, they start turning into these pale Indians.